20 by 2 veteran Ryan Gantz is a 33-year-old designer and tall jackass. As creative director of SB Nation, he spent the past 4 years designing interfaces, fiddling with CSS, and helping to build a design and technology-driven media company. Ryan started blogging back in 1999, back when the internet meant something. Pause for effect. He presently lives in Santa Barbara with his wife, Jenny, son, Devo, and dog, Alfie. As a lead researcher at ADT, am I doing that right?
ADET.
Okay, that too. Answering questions is something close to Ryan's heart. Welcome back, Ryan Gantz. Tell us, why did you do it?
Thank you. It's a real honor to speak with you today. At ADET, we're very interested in understanding why people do what they do. For us, it is it's really interesting to study the language behind motivation, the way that people come to terms with their own intentions and their own plans, their own decisions. And what we discover consistently, and this is very valuable for our research and for our brands, is that nuances in the language that we use to describe these things, even to inquire about intention, can really reveal some interesting sort of insights into why people make the decisions that we make. So here's what we did. And we conducted an anonymous, ADET conducted an anonymous poll. We asked people to pick some sort of event from their life, some accomplishment, and then over time we asked them a series of questions about this event, and the results are sort of interesting. The first question that we asked was, why did I do it? Why did you do it? And now the results here are not particularly shocking. People do things for a variety of reasons, for better opportunity, for romantic love. What's particularly interesting here to me is that because of my parents actually outranks for sex and for money, which is sort of interesting. We had about 1,500 respondents to this first question, but again, no real surprises. But what if we change the language of the question a little bit? Well, we get a sort of a different result. So a few days later, we asked a portion of those, well, we asked all of them, but a portion responded. Why do you think you were doing it? That is, in the moment when you accomplished this thing or made this decision, what sort of things were you thinking about? And we get a very different picture, right? But it's one of much more sort of optimistic. People doing things for romantic love, to change the world. They want to create something beautiful. They want to feel connected. And it's interesting to think about the sort of disparity between what you thought you were doing back in the moment, and as you've gotten older, what you've discovered you now feel was driving you at that time. But what if we push this a little further? There were 780 respondents to this question. We asked them another question, and we asked, don't lie. What? And it's really interesting to think about this, right? Because unfortunately, only a fraction of them responded. But it's clear now that the kinds of questions we're asking are really starting to sort of dig up some uncomfortable feelings in our respondents, right? They realize that maybe, they're starting to question, were they doing this because of loneliness? And then ultimately, it seems like they're beginning to even sort of attack the idea of participating in the poll in the first place, right? And so we really wanted to kind of unpack that a little bit, and we sort of step back and we say, well, let's ask another question. Why did you take this poll? Unfortunately, only 4 respondents at this point. And if you know anything about ADET research, you know that this is not exactly the sort of results we're looking for in a poll like this. So we thought we should sort of take a step back and kind of try to figure out what we're trying to accomplish here. So we asked yet another question. And unfortunately, we had only a single respondent who replied saying that to the question, why did you do this? He said, to connect with friends, to show people I'm clever, to get attention, or maybe there's some kind of difficulty that this particular respondent is trying to work through. So we thought we'd dig in a little bit deeper. We asked one more question. Honestly, why did you do it? And we start to get a kind of a different picture. It's a picture of someone who maybe hurt their wife very deeply in 2010. Was kind of ashamed to discuss it here in front of a group of public people, but maybe that's the why did you do it question that's actually haunting this particular respondent. Well, in conclusion, we can use data to better understand the way that we use and understand our own experience And we're constantly evolving our understanding and our questions of why we do it. Thank you.
Ryan Gantz. Science and data.